Hello everybody, I'm Storyman Mark and it's story time. Wow, have I got a show for you today. I'm going to tell two stories, the face in the tree, how did that face get there? And also from Africa, from Mozambique, I'm going to tell a story called The Head Tree. I'm curious, what's that one about? Then I'm going to tell some tree jokes, we're going to have a time for tree facts. And in fact, tree facts, here's a tree fact for you. Did you know that trees are the oldest living beings on the planet? That's right. They don't die of old age. They eventually get old, of course, and then when they get old, sometimes they get a little weak because of diseases and the environment around them changes. And that's finally what does them in, except for those two-legged creatures that come along with their axes, and cut them down, of course. And then we're going to go to North Park Village Nature Center, which is a very special place in Chicago. We're going to take a snoop around there and see what's going on there this spring. I'm going to take you out in my garden and see what's going on there. You'll see the trees in my garden. And we're going to sing I Love the Mountains, a very special version of that with an extra verse because it's Arbor Day and we're celebrating trees. And finally, we're going to see Squrimy the Wormy, right? I introduced you to Squrimy last time, and we're going to see how I put Squrimy and all his relatives in their home because they came in the mail this week. Oh yeah, and one other thing, I'm going to recite a wonderful poem by Joyce Kilmer called Trees. But that's an awful lot. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it into two shows. That's right. There'll be this one, and then I'll make another one up after that too. That'll be out, drop, as they say. I'll drop it in a couple days, and then you can watch the end of the show too, all right? So let's get started by going back outside. This is a bur oak. It's my own old groovy. I planted this tree probably 15 years ago. It's 2 feet tall. I love this tree. It's one of my favorite trees.
Bur oaks may grow to a height of 100 feet.
Happy Arbor Day! I'm Storyman Mark. And let's start with our theme song, I Love the Mountains. Yeah? It goes, I love the mountains. I love the rolling hills. I love the sunshine. I love the daffodils. I love the fireside. Oh, when the lights are low. Do-wop-a-doo, wop-a-doo, wop-a-doo, doodly-doo, wop-a-doo, wop-a. Now, I've added a new verse to celebrate Arbor Day and the trees around us, and I'll talk you through it as we go, and the words will be on the screen too, all right? And it goes, oak trees, right? And we're just going to reach up. I love the oak trees and how the willows weep, right? So let's be a willow weeping, yeah? And how the willows weep. Cherry trees, let's pick some cherries. I love the cherry trees. I love the pies it makes. Just rub that stomach. I love the pies it makes. I love the forest tall. Just look up at how tall those trees are, yeah? I love the forest tall. I want to hug them all. There we go. Do-wop-a-doo. So let's go back through that new verse again. One more time. What do you say? Do-wop-a-doo, wop-a-doo, wop-a-doo. I love the oak trees and how the willows weep. I love the cherry trees and the pies it makes. I love the forest tall. I want to hug them all. Do-wop-a-doo, wop-a-doo, wop-a-doo. Doodly-doo, wop-a-doo, 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 wah-wah-wah-wah.
Bur oaks may drop 10,000 acorns in a season.
So let's take a moment and look and see what's blooming in my garden, shall we? First, this magnolia is just about to open. We have this nice flower tree getting ready, or bush actually, getting ready to open. And maybe if you see this, you can tell me what this is called because I haven't been able to figure it out yet. Otherwise, you can see the yard is
being worked on. The peonies are coming up. Some other things, the ground cover is flowering. But spring has definitely sprung. And over here is unfortunately a Japanese maple, which I don't know if it was the cold temperatures we've had, but it's gotten a little sour looking, so I pulled it out and put it in a pot to see if that wouldn't help it, and I hope it does. This weeping cherry, which you've already been seeing, and it's starting to stop blooming now. It's been going for quite a while, but now the blooms are starting to fade.
Some very unusual places. They certainly do. Like once, I used to teach, back in my whippersnapper days, I used to teach on the 22nd floor of an office building in downtown Chicago. And in looking out the window one day, I happened to notice that there was a small itty-bitty tree growing in the eave trough that they had up there. It was there. I couldn't believe that when I saw it, but there it was in the 22nd floor. So keep your eyes open, because you never know where a tree's going to grow. Trees will find their way even through the middle of a big rock. I've seen pictures, though I haven't seen it myself. So do some research and look for pictures and see where trees actually can grow. Yeah. So this next story that I'm going to tell comes from Mozambique, Africa. And I'm going to be playing this drum here, which is called the Kiti drum. Now, I got this drum when I was in Ghana, Africa, again, many years ago. I was studying African dance with the National Dance Company there. It was an amazing experience. But I picked up this drum while I was there. And of course, the drum is, hello, made out of a tree. They hollow it out, put some cow skin over the top, and voila, you have a drum. There was a farmer, and this farmer always got up even before the sun rose. He loved getting up before the sun rose. He would get up, come out of his hut, and lean up against the hut and just sit there. It was so quiet and peaceful. It was the most quiet time of the day, and it was the coolest time of the day. And he would just lay there against the wall and listen and breathe and be at peace, because he was going to work hard during the day. And sure enough, the rooster crowed, it started to be dawn, and the birds began to sing, and the insects came alive, and he listened always for the sound of his wife getting up. Now, she always got up singing. She was a fine woman, and she loved to sing, and she loved to enjoy life. And the song she always sang was just about that. Living each day to the fullest, enjoying each moment. And so she was asleep in the hut, and the rooster crowed, and she began to stir. Baba la gumba, la gumba, la ho, we say, Baba la gumba, la gumba, la we say la da 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 da, hubby say la da 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 da, hubby say, hubby say, hubby say, hubby say. Baba la gumba, la hubby say, Baba la gumba. And she started to get out of her bed, yeah. Na 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 na, Havise. And she started to make her way to the front door. Na 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 na, Havise. And when she got to the front door, she'd always walk through and go, Havise. And the husband would always sing back, Havise. So you can be the husband if you don't mind. Havise, 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 Havise. Oh, husband, 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 what a glorious day it's going to be. Husband? Oh no, I I don't believe it. You have a tree growing right on your head. Oh, wife, it's too early in the morning for your joking around. No, husband, you really have a tree growing on your head. So he put his hands up there, and sure enough, there was the teeniest, tiniest tree you could have ever imagined seeing. It had little itty-bitty branches and the teeniest, cutest leaves you'd ever want to see on a tree, and there it was growing on his head. Wife, why is there a chair? Why is there a tree growing on my head? And she said, how do I know, husband? Haven't you been washing your hair? Maybe a seed has taken root. But he was a clean man. Not only did he wash his hair and under his arms, he also cleaned the lint out of his navel, and he would clean up the toe jam from between his toes too. He was basically clean from head to toe. Well, nobody knew why the tree was growing, but it was growing. Now the problem with a tree is that it grows and it keeps growing, doesn't it? And so it wasn't long before that tree got to be a little bit taller, and there were people in the village that happened to notice. And when they saw the man with a tree growing on his head, they just started to, you've got a tree right on your head. Wife, I gotta get rid of this tree. I don't know. I'm gonna hide it. That's what I'm gonna do. So he did. He put his hat on it. Yes, he put his hat on it, and well, they have Cub fans in Mozambique. But you know, that tree kept growing taller and taller and taller until it became a hat rack. Wife, I've got to get rid of this tree. Get me the axe. I want to cut it off. But husband, if you cut the tree off your head, you might bleed to death. Oh, that clearly wasn't a good idea. But wife, I've got to get rid of this tree. I don't know what to do. Now she thought, she was a pretty smart woman, and she said, oh, I know. Why don't you go visit the healer? Why don't you visit the healer that lives across the river, through the tall grass, and into the jungle? She may be able to help you. And he thought, my goodness, that was a wonderful idea. So he didn't think about it. He just ran right on down to the river and started to swim across the river. Now, I need your help with this part of the story, because the river was populated with hippopotamuses. And so, as he was swimming across the river, well, the hippopotamuses happened to see the man with a tree growing on his head swimming across. And can you make a hippopotamus mouth with me? And so, as he was swimming across, they just opened their big hippopotamus mouths and went, Why, even the hippopotamus were laughing at him. Finally, he got across the river where he thought he would be safe. But as he was walking through the tall grass, he came upon a herd of elephants. Can you get your elephant snout, your elephant trunk going here? And when the elephants saw a man walking by that had a tree growing on his head, why, they just... Oh, even the elephants laughed at him. He finally got past the tall grass and into the jungle, where once again he thought he would be safe. But he came upon a tree of monkeys. Maybe you could stand up and get ready. Can you get your monkey hands ready to go here? And when the monkeys saw the man walking past them with a tree growing on his head, why, they just started making their funniest monkey laugh. Why, some of them even fell out of the tree. Oh, he finally got past the laughing monkeys, and he got to where the wise woman lived. And she was sitting in front of her hut. She had all of these herbs laid out on a little table in front of her, and she was taking a little bit of this and putting it in a little bowl, a little bit of this and a little bit of this, and mixing it all up and putting it in a little sack and setting it off the side. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, putting it in a little sack and setting it off the side. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, and putting it in a sack. So just back and forth, back and forth. She didn't even notice the man was there. Finally, he had to go,
Yes, what is it? Oh, my. Excuse me, sir, but you have a tree growing on your head.
Duh. Tell me something I don't know already. That's why I'm here. Can you please help me? Can you help me get rid of this tree? It's starting to give me a headache. Well, you can imagine if you had a tree growing on your head, it might be giving you a headache.
Well, I've never seen anybody with a tree growing on their head. Have you done something bad? Do you do bad things to people?
Well, he was a good man. He was honest and straightforward, and he wasn't planning on doing anything bad to anybody.
Well, all right, all right, all right.
So she went inside her hut. Now, inside her hut, she had a big, thick book that she'd gotten from her mother, who passed it down from her mother, who passed it down from her mother, and each one of the women had put their own recipes in there. But not like recipes like your mom or dad might have in your cookbook in your kitchen. You know, recipes like how to make a chocolate cake, or how to make chocolate ice cream, or how to make chocolate-covered broccoli. That's a tasty one. But she was looking through the book, and she found the chapter on hair, and she thought, well, maybe hair loss. Maybe we can figure out, because this is what you want to do to get rid of some hair in unwanted places. Maybe that'll help. So she reached way up on the top shelf for an herb she hardly ever used, and reached way up on another one for the same thing, another one she hardly ever used, and she grabbed a few more things, mixed them all together, and she put it in a little sack, and she came out and she handed it to the man and said, now here's what you must do so the tree may fall off your head. You need to rub it on your head in the morning and rub it on your head at night, and after the medicine is gone, which should take about 7 days, the tree should fall off your head. And if the tree doesn't fall off your head, then you don't have to pay me the, let's say 2 cows that this medicine cost. 2 cows, said the farmer. That's awful expensive. Well, she explained to him that she herself had to climb way up in the canopy of the jungle in Africa, right? It wasn't very safe, but she would climb way up there to get some of the herbs that were in this particular potion, particular medicine. And so he said, all right, I will pay you. And so off he went. He went past the laughing monkeys, past the laughing elephants, past the laughing hippopotamuses, and when he got home, he'd rub it on in the morning. Maybe you can do it too, right? He rubbed it on in the morning and he rubbed it on at night. He rubbed it on in the morning and he rubbed it on at night. He rubbed it on in the morning and he rubbed it on at night. Maybe you can rub it on the head of somebody else around. He rubbed it on in the morning and he rubbed it on at night. He rubbed it on in the morning and he rubbed it on at night until finally all the medicine was gone. And he got up that next morning. Oh, but the tree was still there. Why? But crick, the tree timber fell right off of his head. Oh, he was so excited. She was so excited. They gave each other a big smooch. Well, you know, she took the axe and cut up that tree and made a fire, and they made a big stew, and they invited all the villagers over to celebrate that the tree had fallen off the man's head. Oh, it was wonderful. And they all had a great time, and they celebrated all day long and into the night. But still, even though the tree was gone and he was really tired, the very next morning, that farmer found himself all the way back up again. Yes, yes. And the rooster crowed, and his wife got up singing again. Ba ba la goomba la havise. Ba ba la goomba la havise. Ah na 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 havise. Ah na 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 havise. Oh, husband, what a glorious day. And he says, oh, it certainly is a glorious day, and I feel so lightheaded. Well, you know, he went to work, and she went to work, and they got together for lunch, and she said, now, husband, you should go pay that wise woman the 2 cows you owe her. But he said, I don't know. And you might not know this yet, but sometimes in a split second, you'll make a decision that can affect you for the rest of your life. And that's what he did. He says, you know what? I'm a farmer. She's an old woman. What does an old woman need 2 cows for? I'm not going to pay her. Husband, you should pay her. Now, she waited for a few days, and when nothing happened, she thought maybe the tree didn't fall off the man's head. But they had drums in Africa that talk. And the drums were telling the story. There had been a tree on a man's head. She'd taken the medicine and the tree had fallen off. Oh, so she knew that the medicine had worked. So she got a little girl she knew to go and collect the 2 cows because she figured he was probably just busy. And when the girl got there, oh, the farmer said, "I'm not going to pay you the 2 cows." And he picked up a big stick and chased her away. Well, do you know what happened next? Another tree started growing on the man's head. It was a huge tree. It was a big tree. It was, in fact, a mambo tree. Oh, wife, what am I going to do, wife? Husband, you knew you should pay that 2 cows. Now you've got to go back and see her again. You're right, I do. And so he did. He went back again, past the laughing hippopotamuses, past the laughing monkeys, past the laughing elephants, until finally he got all the way to her hut. And she was sitting in front of her hut this day, and she saw him coming and said, "Well, you see, I have another tree growing on my head." I have noticed that. Yes, I have. Well, can you please help me get it off? Here's the 2 cows I owe you. I was bad. I should have given you the 2 cows right away. Please forgive me, but I need more medicine. Well, all right, I'll get you some more medicine, but understand that this is going to require stronger medicine. It's going to cost you 4 cows now. Oh, 4. All right, I will pay you. I promise I will pay you. And so she went in the hut and she made up the medicine. And when she handed it to him, she asked him, she said, "Now, do you know what you must do so the tree will fall off your head and never come back again?" And he thought for a moment. And what do you think he said? He said, "Keep my promise." And she nodded. And he did. And the tree fell off his head and never came back again. And that is the story of the head tree from Mozambique, Africa. So go hug a tree. I love the oak trees and how the willows weep. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you've had fun. And quite something there, having a tree growing on your head, huh? How would you like to have one growing on your head? Well, listen, you be safe out there, and make sure you keep your eyes open for part 2 of our Arbor Day edition of Storytime, because that will be coming along soon. And thank you for joining me on Storytime.